All right, so the equation that I've chosen is suppose a standard six-sided die is rolled and you receive $1 for every dot showing on the top of the die. What should the cost of playing the game be in order to make it a fair game? All right, so first of all, I want to figure out how much money I would be getting for each side of the dice. So we know that we would be getting $1 for each dot that's on a dice. So if I were to roll it and roll a 1, as shown right here, we know for $1 for each dot, that's how much it would equal for that side. So I have one dot and $1, which is $1 total for this side of the die. For the 2, if it's $1 per dot, we just count 1, 2. It would be $2 for that side of the dice, and so on and so forth with the rest. So this would be 3, the 4 would be 4, and the 5 would be 5, and the 6 would be 6. Perfect. All right, so that's just focusing on the first part. Suppose a standard six-sided die is rolled and you receive $1 for every dot showing on the top of the die. We just covered that. We did it. We showed the numbers. We figured out how we got the math, knowing that it's $1 per dot. It's easy multiplication. You know that there's 5 dots for say on this one. Multiply it by 1. You get your 5 as your answer. Okay. Second part of the question is, what should the cost of playing the game be in order to make it a fair game? Okay, well, they didn't give us any data. They did not tell us any of the probabilities. They did not tell us how many times they rolled the dice to see how much money that they would be doing it. Well, I know that there's 6 sides of the dice, so I decided we are going to roll a dice. We're going to do our own experiment, and we're going to roll the dice 6 times and see how much money we would get before paying any money into the game. We're just going to see how much money we would make after rolling it 6 times, and then we will make a fair calculation of how much we think we should be making based on the money that we're going to make from those 6 rolls. So I went to Google, I just searched roll dice, and we're just going to roll it 6 times and see what we get. I'm just going to write my answers down on a sticky note, and then I will transfer them over to the OneNote page after we're all done rolling them so we can see what ones we got. So our first roll is a 6. Second roll is a 1. For our third, we got another 6. For our fourth one, we got a 1. For our fifth one, we got a 2. And for number 6, we got another 6. So we got pretty lucky with these rolls. A lot of 6s. So let's mark those on down. For our first roll, we got a 6. For our second one, we got a 1. Third one was a 6. Fourth one was a 1. Fifth one was a 2. And our sixth one was a 6. Okay, well now we just need to refer back to these dice heads that we have already calculated out how much money we would get for each side of the dice anyway. So we know for 6, we would get $6. So let's write that on down. We get $6 for rolling that 6, and that is to be said for every single one of these 6s that we rolled. So I'm going to go ahead and write in 6 for each one of those. All right, and then we know the 1, we only get $1 for those guys, so I'm just going to write those down for the 1s. And our number 2, we know that it's $2 if we roll a 2. So I'm just going to write that in as well. Now it's just simple addition. You add up this amount, you figure out how much money you made. I'm going to do multiplication. I know 6 times 6 times 6, that is 6 times 3 is 18. 1 and 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. 18 plus 4, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So we made $22 by rolling it 6 times, getting these as our answers to our experiment, knowing what we had rolled. All right, so we know that we get $1 for each one of the dots on these sides of the dice. So, and we also know that we got $22 based on the dots that we have rolled. Okay, so if we were to say you spend $1 for every single roll, okay? We're just gonna go super duper cheap right off the bat, and we rolled it 6 times. So that means that if you were to roll this and you were to pay before we rolled and you got the $22, that means that out of pocket you spent $6, which means you would have made 22 minus $6. Okay, do your simple subtraction, steal, grab one. 12 minus 6 is 6. So you would have made $16 worth of extra money that you did not spend at all, right? Because we did the $6 and we knew that we got the 22 extra, okay? This is only saying that if we were to roll this as a whole, right? So we know that if we were to only spend $6, saying that it's $1 per roll, $1 for this roll, $1 for this roll, $1 for this roll, and so on, that as a profit, if we were to get $22, like we have so graciously demonstrated, you would get $16 that you did not spend of your own money. Okay, so now let's see how much it would be if we did $2. If you paid $2 per roll, all right? So we know that we rolled 6 times. So simple math, if we know we rolled 6 times, we know that it's $2 per roll. You take 6 times 2. That means that you would have spent $12 on your rolls, which in this case, you got super lucky because once again, you would take 22 minus the 12 and you would end up with a nice pocketed money of $10.